Welcome to This Organized Life. If you're a mom, wife, or coffee lover seeking advice on how to reduce clutter and reclaim time, look no further than your host, Lori Palau, founder of Simply Be Organized and author of Hot Mess, a practical guide to getting organized. For a lot of people, clutter is their dirty little secret, but it doesn't have to be. Each week, we will share practical tips, chat with experts, and provide strategies on how to keep you organized. I hope that by sharing our stories, you feel a little less alone and more empowered to tackle the areas that are holding you back. So let's get started.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of This Organized Life podcast. I'm your host, Lori Palau, and I'm so happy that you're here. If you're listening to this in real time, guys, it is the mid-end of August, which means for a lot of people listening out there that back to school shift, whether your kids are just about going back or you're getting ready to get them back to school. I know that's a crazy time of year. So kudos to you for taking a few minutes to just check in with us and get a grip on everything. Now, if you're somebody that is like, I need to make a change for myself once the kids go back to school, I want you to listen up for this special offer that we have going on. So I know we've been promoting it. We have, at the time of this recording, we have 3, maybe 4 spots left in our fall business mentoring cohort. If you are somebody that loves organizing and has thought about how you can use organizing as a way to bring in some additional revenue, whether that's as a side job, or maybe you're thinking about returning back to work, your kids are in a period of transition, and you want to start making some additional money for yourself, for your family, and still be able to have the flexibility to be, present for all the kid things, this is something that you're going to definitely want to check out. This is an 8-week program that we are running. It is facilitated by me. It's a live training. This isn't like pre-recorded modules. This is a live coaching where I actually open up the playbook and teach you how I started SBO, how I started making money as a professional organizer, and how you can too. So whether you're looking to just add some financial contributions to your family by adding like $1,000 a month, or you're looking to turn this into a full-time career, this is a great stepping stone for you. This is a great place to start. So we're going to drop the link below in the show notes for you to learn more about it. You can either join, or if you have additional questions, you can hop on my calendar for a discovery call, but we're starting on September 11th. So definitely you don't want to delay on this. And I only am running this cohort twice a year. So we're not going to be running another one until 2025. So just please, again, this is a great opportunity for you guys to learn the nuts and bolts of starting smart and running and organizing, like running your business, running your organizing business from the ground up, smart and educated with all the facts. So there's that. All right. Now, on that same note, I get a lot of questions from people about running a business, running specifically a professional organizing business. And so I wanted to dedicate today's episode geared towards the professional organizer, because I know we also have a lot of people who already have established businesses in the professional organizing space. And maybe they're looking to diversify their service offerings. Maybe they spend maybe if this is you and you're in homes 100% of the time, but maybe you're looking to add a new service offering. I'm going to talk today about 5 different ways that you can make money as a professional organizer. These are things that I have done in my business. There's pros and cons to all of these, or different things to consider. But I think that a lot of times people think, oh, a professional organizer, that means that you're going in and beautifying somebody's pantry or their closet. And that is definitely one lens of the organizing space. But there's such a spectrum of people in the organizing world that I really think a lot of people don't really take the time to recognize that there's a lot of different ways that you can monetize your gifts and talents and bring value to people outside of just being in homes working one-on-one with people. So I'm going to walk through a few of the different ways. Okay. So first and foremost, building your client base, which is I'm all about relational business, meaning word of mouth, organic reach. We're talking about growing your business without ads. You can certainly do that, but for people that are looking to grow their business, how can you reach into your network of people that you know in real life and expand out from the network beyond them? So friends, families, neighbors, people that your kids go to school with. If your kids are do an extracurricular activity, sports, music, whatever it is, any of those people, start talking about what you're doing. And that is one way to start to grow your organizing business, really through that word of mouth and getting those testimonials, getting those before and after pictures, really getting that social cred from other people. And so that is a great way to kind of start your business. The second way that you can make money is through online or not through online, through in-person consulting. So maybe you are somebody that wants to, a lot of times when people hire a professional organizer, it becomes very costly. And you want to be able to bring value to your customer, but perhaps they don't have the financial means to do all of the things. So one of the things, and we offer this at SBO, and I've actually done more of these since I pivoted my business into speaking and writing and the podcast, is doing a paid consulting fee. In our world, we call it an organizing diagnostic. And that is, we go in there and give you a top to bottom assessment of all the different things that we feel would really help you. This is way deeper than just a general consultation. It is a deep dive into all the nooks and crannies of your home, of all the pain points. And it takes at least a couple hours. And then I usually spend 2 to 3 hours on the back end, really crafting a customized proposal with detailed links and directions. So it's really for the DIY person. So somebody that doesn't necessarily have the interest or the means to hire a professional organizer to come in and do the work for them, but wants that knowledge. They want the action plan. They want to know, what are the best products? What is the best way to approach it? What are the best systems for me? And so what we do is we go in there and we do like I said, a deep dive consultation where we meet in person with the homeowner. We talk to them about what their pain points are. We identify the areas where they're struggling, the things that are working, if there are certain things that are working, what's not. And then really develop this customized written action plan for them. And that is a flat fee. And we charge that, and that becomes a separate service offering. Now, sometimes you have people that will want that, and then they will still at some point want you to come in and do the work. And that's great. You can use this as a stepping stone. But ultimately, if you have a potential client that says, oh, this is out of my price range, but I really would like to work with you, a lot of professional organizers don't have another alternative. This is another alternative that gives you an opportunity to be able to share your knowledge and expertise with somebody without them having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third way that you can make money as a professional organizer is through speaking. Now, speaking is, again, a very broad spectrum. So when I talk about, marketing your business, obviously going on things like podcasts, being on local television or radio, those are all great kind of marketing vessels to get your name and brand out there. But it's not necessarily going to immediately translate into revenue. So how can you leverage speaking as a revenue stream? Well, there's 2 ways. One is get hired by somebody else, by a company, a group, an organization, to come in and give a presentation on a specific organizing topic. So whether it's general organizing principles, or maybe it is something specifically towards like back to school organizing or playroom organizing or downsizing or whatever that looks like, right? So you know what your area of expertise is and what you like to talk about. And so you can either pitch yourself to a group or organization and say, hey, these are some, I speak on this specific topic. And if you ever bring in speakers for events, and we teach people how to kind of go about formalizing a pitch and what that looks like. But you could go and have a presentation that they would pay you to come in, a flat fee, whatever that is, to come in and deliver this content. Now, in that situation, you're also marketing yourself, but you're not using this necessarily as a way to try to drum up business. If business comes from that, that's just like cherry on the sundae. But when you get paid to speak and you're coming in there, you're not necessarily what they call selling from the stage. You're not sitting there trying to then convert those people. You're literally just there to deliver content and information and give people a plan of action moving forward. The other way that you could use speaking is through hosting your own events. And now we did that with our Clutter Clinic series that I started back in 2013, because I was doing a lot of free speaking at the time. And I've told this story before, but for those of you who guys don't know it, I was doing a lot of free speaking at networking events to kind of build my brand awareness. And it was great. And sometimes I would get clients out of it. Sometimes I wouldn't, but it took a lot of time and effort to craft a PowerPoint presentation, carve out my schedule, take time away, all the things to deliver a meaningful talk. And so I decided that I also knew that there was a lot of people that were interested in what I was saying, but weren't going to hire me as to come in and organize their space, whether it was a money thing, whether they were embarrassed, whatever the situation was. And so I said, well, what if I were to host a speaking event that people would come and pay? I did it as a lunch and learn. That was how I did it. And they would pay a flat fee, and I would give them tips, advice, strategies, and then they could go on their merry way and choose to implement that on their own. And the upside to that is you're making money on the ticket sales, and you are empowering people with skills and strategies. And it's a great other muscle for you to develop. The downside is, if you want to call it a downside, is there's a lot of marketing legwork. You have to find a place. You may or may not have to pay for a place. So there's a little bit more planning and logistics on the back end. You have to fill the room. So there's definitely, you're using different muscles when you are going to speak to somebody else versus when you're hosting your own event. And so again, pros and cons to both. I've done both. I enjoy both. And it's just a matter of kind of having all your ducks in a row. But you can find your own clutter clinic, or, we license that now to our speaker series to other professional organizers, so they don't have to kind of recreate the wheel. But our clutter clinic was a way for me to bring in an additional revenue stream. And so again, just to kind of make the math easy, you open up for 20 people and you sell them at $50 a ticket for, a lunch and learn or a 2-hour presentation or 2-hour workshop. And that's $1,000. And then obviously you're going to take out any costs associated or overhead, but that's another way. And if you do that, a few times a year, you could be making several $1,000s. And I'm just kind of spitballing some potential numbers, but you could do it however you want. So speaking, if you are somebody that enjoys that and likes talking to people, that is a great way for you to increase your credibility, increase your brand awareness, reach a brand new audience, and leverage your expertise while making money. So speaking, huge fan of speaking. Okay, so now we've talked about in-person, we've talked about consulting, we've talked about speaking, 2 different ways of speaking. The fourth way that you can make money as a professional organizer is through kind of digital offerings. Now, some people have referred to this as passive income. I have kind of like a mixed bag feeling about that phrase because, yes, although the programs are passive, meaning you're not physically there delivering it, there's a lot of work that goes into marketing and selling that. So we're talking about a digital course, a digital download, something that you're charging for, that you're charging money for. So in my case, let's use our Enneagram and Clutter. So I created this framework called Enneagram and Clutter. We sell it as a course or masterclass, and it is a way for if people want to learn about this specific framework that I've developed and created. So you have a framework that you developed and created. Maybe it's about downsizing. Maybe it's about kids organizing. Maybe it's about whatever it could be, right? So in my case, I talked all about Enneagram and Clutter, using that framework of personality typologies and how you can understand where your clutter strengths are and where your clutter pitfalls are, and then what strategies can potentially work based on your Enneagram type. So if that's something that you're interested in learning, instead of having to hire me and pay me to go in and do this, you can just buy this digital masterclass where I teach it. It is evergreen, so you can go in at your own time. You pay for it. It comes directly into your inbox. You can watch it, view the modules, go through the workbook, all of that on your own time. Now, the advantage to consumers are usually a digital offering is way more affordable, depending on what it is that you're doing. But in this case, it's way more affordable than hiring somebody to do that one-on-one consulting. So you're saving money. The advantage is obviously you can do it in the privacy of your own home, on your own pace, on your own schedule. So you have that autonomy. The downside is, a lot of times people really thrive having that live accountability person. And so for the consumer, I don't want you to ever spend money on something and then have it just sit there, right? It would be no different than spending money on a pair of shoes that sit in your closet or clothes that still have the tags on them. So we want to make sure if you are spending your resources from the consumer, that you're going to actually take action on that. Now, for the professional organizer, the challenge is, you invest a lot of time and resources to create this set, whatever this is, these digital downloads, workbook, course, masterclass, whatever you want to call it. And that takes time and getting that all set up from an operational standpoint. But then you have to let people know that it's out there. So you have to market that. That means you have to send emails. You have to promote it to groups. You have to maybe go on different podcasts or promote it within networking groups, or maybe you're going to be running some ads to let people outside of your immediate circle even know that this thing is out there. And so I know when I created the Enneagram and Clutter framework, I went on a lot of Enneagram podcasts. I did a lot of talking about it so that I could let other people know, hey, we have this framework. We don't want to just build this incredible thing, whatever you're building, and just assume people can find it and then assume people know what to do with it. So it's not just about, that's why the whole passive, air quote, passive income can be misleading, because yes, it's great that people could be buying this while you sleep, but you have to get people to a point where they know that it exists and they're finding it. But it is a great way if you have something that you can market that is a unique intellectual property of your own, that you came up with a specific framework or a specific tool to help people live a more organized life, that you can market that and automate it. So that is a great way to do it. And I think it's always a nice addition to be able to have for your business, to offer it up to your existing customers, community, and network. Okay. And then the fifth way that you can make money is through affiliate sales. Now, what is affiliate sales? And a lot of people may have heard of this, may not really know about it. So basically, in a nutshell, an affiliate sale means you are promoting somebody else's goods or services. And in exchange for that, you get a portion of whatever they sell. So think of it as a commission in a way, right? So if you're selling something, I'll give you again a practical example. So you've probably heard, if you've listened to the show before, you've heard me talk about my friend Jeannie Stith's company, Your Color Guru. Now, Your Color Guru is a company that she created that does color analysis, and they do a deep dive color analysis on what clothes, what makeup, all the things of what works for you with your complexion. And what this does and how this ties into organizing is I talk to a lot of people who are frustrated with their clothes. They spend a lot of money and they get very aggravated because they buy things and they just don't like the way they look on them. They're like, I loved it on the model, or I like the way it looked in the store or on the hanger or whatever. And then I get it home and I put it on and I just don't like the way it looks. And so they're wasting time, money, and it's just frustrating. And then they go in their closet and they're like, I don't have anything to wear, or I wear the same three things. And through Jeannie's process, you're able to easily identify what color schemes look good for you with your complexion, excuse me, and all the things. And so from an organizational standpoint, it narrows the lens. And I said to her, I think this is great. She did it for me. I went through the process myself so I could speak to it authentically and said, this is great. I would pay for this. I think this is a great thing. And so she has an affiliate program. So every time I talk about it, I have a specific code. You as a consumer are not paying any more for this. But if I talk about it and you're like, oh my gosh, I think this would be great. I would love to try this, or I'd love to buy this as a gift for my mom or my sister or my friend or whatever. And you use my code to go buy it and do a color analysis, I get a small percentage of that. Now, would I promote her stuff anyway? Yes, I would, because I think what she's doing is great and it's providing a service and it aligns organically with what we do here at This Organized Life. But it's also a way, as I'm promoting this authentically, for me to say, you know what, as I'm promoting it, if I get 10, 20, 100 people that decide that this is something they want to do, now I'm getting a little piece of each one of those. And after a while, that can add up. So depending on your business, adding some affiliate relationships, ones that make sense to you, and that is the key, is really important. Now, again, you can look on social media at influencers that have all these big brand deals that have tons and tons of hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're promoting everything under the sun. For professional organizers, I'm not necessarily recommending that. What I'm saying is pick 1, 2, no more than a handful of products or services that align with your business that you really believe in, that would be a complement to what you offer already to your existing clients, and then leverage that if it's possible, so that you would be offering that recommendation anyway. But this way, if they do decide to buy this good or service, you would get a small percentage, and then that affiliate sales becomes a separate line item on your P&L. So when you're looking at your revenue, you have different buckets. And when I talk about this in a presentation, I show this image of different buckets. So you would have bucket number 1, clients. That's your traditional, I'm going in there, I'm working with you to declutter and organize your space. Bucket number 2, coaching and consulting, where you're going in there and giving them this deep dive. The way I do it is I do an actual written follow-up proposal, digital proposal, that they can have it with clickable links and all the things. Not everybody wants to do that because it is very time consuming, but it's another way that you can leverage your expertise as an organizer to make money. Again, the third thing is going in there and speaking, either getting hired to speak for a company or group or organization, or hosting your own event that you charge for. So you get paid for somebody by somebody else, or you charge a fee, and then you can develop your own program like I did with the clutter. It's going to be weighted the same. You could have the majority of your revenue come from one or two of them, and you get a little bit of supplemental. But maybe in those times that might be significantly tend to be slower times of the year, you can lean into that. And just having that diversification is a great way for you to keep your business fresh and running like throughout the year, and avoiding any big peaks and valleys. And so again, I hope this was really helpful. If you are somebody who is a professional organizer and you want to learn more about this, we've got some other offerings. So feel free to reach out to us. And if you are somebody that's like, hey, I'm really interested in starting professional organizing business, definitely check out our business mentoring cohort. This is, again, small group. It's limited to 10 people. We already have 6 at the time of this recording. We have 6 people enrolled. We have 4 spots open at the time this goes live. I'm not sure if there'll still be any available. If not, we will have a wait list for next year, but check out the link below in our show notes for you to learn more about that. Until next week,